Hey guys, I'm here, and today I'm going to be taking a look at another game from HiiCantPK. This time it's going to be a Protoss versus Zerg, and I don't quite recall his level. I believe last time I checked, he was Silver. That is HiiCantPK, who I am going to be analyzing. I'm not going to care too much about the Zerg player for now. But our Zerg player is the Red Zerg at the 8 o'clock, and he is going to be scouting the correct direction. So this is on Metalopolis, and I'm going to assume that HiiCantPK knows that his opponent is Zerg. So looks like he's going to put down that pile in a pretty normal position. This creates an easier seal that he can do. And unfortunately, he is going to scout the wrong way. So Metalopolis against Zerg. So these are not the best spawn positions. Of course, they're not the worst spawn positions. Zerg tends to favor the cross positions, so that would be 8 o'clock up against 3 o'clock, or 6 o'clock up against 12 o'clock. I'm kind of showing it on the minimap here. I don't feel like just moving the screen around. I think that'd be a little too disorienting and kind of useless, actually. So by now, I think HiiCantPK should have vision of that overload, and he does. And it looks like he's even going to bring that probe around to the correct spawn point. That's great. So, HiiCantPK going to put this gateway in. Okay, sure. In the top position, I generally like to put mine over here, because that just creates a bigger block towards our mineral line. Of course, it's like maybe 3 or 4 seconds gained at most, but still, it is a little bit of time. But this isn't really a major issue. As long as it's creating part of the seal, he's probably going to want to put another gate over here, or maybe his core. Looks like he's going to grab a kind of early gas. No, that's actually okay. Yeah, that's fine. Not going to completely scout out his base, I don't think. Okay, it looks like he has gotten a decent scout out in his opponent's base. Sure. So, what do you want to do with this probe now? You can either... Well, there's a few things you can do. You can... Well, here is not the best idea. You will be able to see some Zerglings moving out, but if you do that much better, if you took this tower, or even if you were... well, yeah, the tower is probably the best idea if you were looking out for early Zerglings. Another option is to put it behind this mineral line or near these gases, just to make sure you know when your opponent is expanding. So if you're trying to do an early push or something like that, it'll be a little easier. And this core actually going down in an opposition. Okay, but HiiCantPK is going to do the well, most of the rest of that. See, I think actually it takes more than one zealot to wall this off. I think one zealot and one probe should be able to do it, but well, it looks pretty tight. It's a little hard to tell. I think his Ling could still slip by there. Anyway, this probe is going to kind of sit there for now, and those Lings are on the way. Not actually going to go for the probe. It's a free kill, so I guess he's just going to try and optimize the damage he can do with those Zerglings. But yeah, going to have no chance against this. Okay, that warp gate tech went down pretty normal timing. I think I should have this production tab up. Now, actually, going to chrono boost these Zealots. Ooh, okay, so that's a major thing you want to do. You want to have this completely blocked off, and then when it's blocked off, what you want to do is have them hold position. If they're just here standing there, if they're just on stop instead of hold position, the Zerglings can just run right through them. And this will stop drones as well. And again, these Lings wouldn't have gotten in if those Zealots were on hold position. So that's one thing to do. Also, kind of a heavy zealot build. There's 3 zealots here, and you really wouldn't have needed more than 2. 2 would have been absolutely fine, and then you could have focused on, okay, stalkers are on the way. That's good. Wow, our Zerg player really committing. Well, not quite committing, I guess, but really focusing on these Zerglings right now. But if HiiCantPK just in the future wants to prevent this, putting these zealots on hold position and making sure that the seal is tight will definitely benefit him. Actually going to chrono boost the rest of that warp gate tech, and this is great. Putting down this extra pylon inside of your opponent's base. Looks like the probe did go down to these Zerglings. Oh, by the way, one thing that I wanted to mention, where's the Manx statue? Here's a better view. So there's Manx, and then there's 2 wolves here. The wolves are actually the Manx emblem, the seal of the Manx clan or family. I just thought that that was something kind of cool to know. It's in one of the books. And so many Lings gonna get in. Again, if this had just been on hold position, he would be losing so much less. He should have these stalkers at this front to make sure the damage is very minimalized. Oh, it looks like this wasn't even tied over here, so it would have taken 3 zealots to block. But he's going to lose so many probes over here. A lot of probes lost. Okay, so how to prevent this? The major thing is keep those zealots on hold position. Make sure that this wall is tight. If this if this pylon had been a little bit more southern, it would have blocked them off very well. But just 4 probes left. Not nearly good enough. And yeah, this mass link is going to eventually win the game, I assume. But yeah, and okay, it's panicky, but it's okay to be panicky when you lose half your probes, 3/4 of your probes. Just spamming up, just queuing up those probes. Okay, now they're on hold position, that's good. Yeah, there we go. Creating a more tight seal. That looks tight. Looks like he is gonna start warping in some units at that, his opponent's base, and he's actually getting quite a few kills over here with his zealots. 3 kills on that one, 3 kills on oops. So this gives in 7 or 8 total. And now as long as he keeps up holding position over here, he'll be fine. You might want to warp in 1 more zealot just in case. Alright, so it looks like HiiCantPK is going to win this game. Just in the beginning, he really needs to work on making sure that this is sealed. For one, this pylon should be a little bit lower down here, or just making sure that this is a tight wall off, or not necessarily a wall off because he's Protoss, but a relatively good seal where you could just plug it with a single or even 2 zealots, and then making sure that these zealots hold position. So that's the other major thing. He let a lot of probes die just because he didn't put any of his zealots on hold position until it was way too late, until he had lost almost all of his probes, and he rebuilt a few of them. Yeah, that's fine. This pylon, a very excellent idea. It tends not to work very well against Zerg because they have those overlords that they can just send all around their base to make sure that this exact sort of thing is not happening. But it did work out this time, so that's fine. It's still not a terrible idea. It's only 100 minerals, and it's not put down exceptionally early. Looks like HiiCantPK isn't too keen on completing his, well, he doesn't use up all that energy. That's what I'm trying to say. It's pretty vital to have that going up, or I guess to have it low in the early game. But he was doing quite a bit of microing with those zealots, with those stalkers, and trying to focus on this pylon as well. So that's understandable. Although it is nice to have lower energy if he can. That warp gate tech was started on time, and that's fine. He went pretty zealot heavy in the beginning, and he really wouldn't have needed to if this pylon again had been lower, if it had been a more complete wall. Then he would have only needed 1 or 2 zealots. If you remember, he had 3 in the beginning, I think, and Zergling still got by. So to prevent this in the future, because it's very possible that our Zerg player would have scattered out this pylon, would have just taken this out, and then he would be in just excellent position to go for, say, Mutatech now, which would have been really devastating to HiiCantPK. But that's not what happened. So HiiCantPK would have been in a worse position and lost, and then that didn't happen. So he should be trying to prevent that probe loss in the beginning. So again, that hold position on your zealots, and, well, not necessarily on the stalkers. They're not too important as long as they're in range of this ramp. So another thing is, once this core gets done, in general, you want to get a stalker, and if you have the energy for it, chrono boost it. So yeah, most players do that. It just stops any scouts that come in, and it'll make your wall even tighter. And then stalker positioning over here would be nice as well, as long as they can still range that ramp, which they should be able to. I think that's just about it. HiiCantPK using using that warp gate tech, using this pylon very efficiently, able to get a lot of kills, and StratSix going for. Did he even have? Okay, he did have speed. But that's about it for this game, I think. So the major blunder by HiiCantPK is just that hold position. You absolutely need to do that when you know that there are lings coming. Just make sure that your units are on hold position every time you want to be blocking off this ramp. So that's it for this game. I do have another one, I think, maybe tomorrow. So yeah, watch that. Thanks for listening. Hope you found this helpful, and I guess that's it. GG.